I've always wanted to be a lawyer. I think I announced at dinner one night when I was 4 or 5 that I was going to be a lawyer, and I never looked back. And I have no regrets. It's an incredibly wonderful profession and can be unbelievably helpful and honorable. And I never had any aspirations to be a judge, and I'm still not sure how it happened. I was with the public defender's office for about 8 years, and I got a call from the then administrative judge of the county court telling me that there was an opening for a judgeship, and she thought I should consider putting my name in. And after I stopped laughing, I actually went ahead and applied, and 8 weeks later, to my amazement, I was on the bench, and it's been a great ride so far. I had a wonderful law professor at Florida State who convinced me that I should go into the public defender's office. I was pretty much set I'm going to a firm at the time, and she thought it would be a great experience, and so I did an internship in the public defender's office in Miami. It was very competitive to get hired. In fact, it was kind of funny. You know, I did the internship, and I thought I did fairly well in my internship, and I was asked to apply. You basically have to be asked to apply, which I did, and I didn't really prepare for the interview very well. And I walked in, and there were, it seems like 100, but there were probably about 8 lawyers. And before I even sat down in my seat, they started grilling me, and I sweated it out. I mean, it was amazing. They made you almost beg for the job that paid me less than my first busboy job did, and it was very tough. I remember getting grilled to this day. It's been 22 years. Like yesterday, asking me about which constitutional amendments applied to criminal law and why, and how I'd apply them, and what would I do if this nasty judge insisted that I answer a question when it would have violated attorney-client privilege. I mean, they were not fooling around. And somehow they offered me the job still after my interview, and it was a great love affair. I really enjoyed working there, and I learned an incredible amount on how to practice law. It is a wonderful office, and still to this day has a wonderful, well-deserved reputation. And now they're a pain in the neck to me, but that's how it's supposed to be, so it works out quite well. It's an amazing office, and I loved it and stayed, and was quite satisfied with the work I was doing until the situation came up with the judgeship. So I started off as an assistant public defender. I started off in the county court division doing like DUIs, and then I elevated up to serious felony cases, which I did for several years until I then was asked to become the chief of the county court, the acting chief of the county court for the public defender's office. And then I did that for about a year, and then I think right after that assignment I got my judgeship. My early days as a judge, it was very different. It was easier to be a lawyer in some ways because you know where you stand. You don't have to pretend to be fair. It's an adversarial system, and you advocate, and it's up to the judge to be fair. You follow the rules, but you fight. And so, it took some adjusting. I started just off with, and it's actually, because I had been the head of the county court, they didn't want me practicing as a judge in the criminal division at first, because I knew all the lawyers, they worked for me. And so, at least on the public defender side. So they actually put me in a civil division for the first 2 years, which at first scared the hell out of me because I had never practiced a wink of civil law in my life, and now I was the judge in a civil division. But you know what? It was a good thing, because when you're new, you're willing to learn anything. And so I was still very open to learning, and I did. I had some wonderful mentor judges that really took me under their wing and taught me what I needed to learn, and it was actually a pretty fun experience. And then after 2 years, I got reassigned to the criminal division, and then about, I guess, a few years later, a couple years later, I was asked to be one of the administrative judges. So I still have a docket, but I help oversee systems, and I've been doing that since 2000.